Hey, it's Dan, and welcome to Unified Gaming. This is hands down the best melee ganker, period. It moves at max speed, you can pretty much one-shot people with a combo, there's very little counterplay to this. I've been testing this on the PTS for weeks now, and honestly, this is all possible thanks to Update 41. Update 41, I'm calling it right now, is the patch of the Nightblade. They are so busted, it is going to get nerfed very quick. So with that said, I'm actually recording this part of the video on the PTS the night before the patch drops, so you know what to farm day one and how to set this up, because it's going to get nerfed really quickly. It is a lot of fun, and for context, I was able to burst a friend of mine who had 33,000 resist, 31k armor, and I could kill them in 1.5 seconds, consistently. It is stupidly broken. If you want to see that actual kind of combat metrics, I can put it in my Discord, which there's details on the screen and stuff. But yeah, if you want to see the videos like this in the future where I go through what I'm going to run day one and then do slight revisions through throughout the patch, put in the description, the comments and stuff, let me know, and I would also post subsequent gameplay. Then as I said, let me know and I'll do this going forward. It's easier for me and it just gets the stuff out quicker for you, so yeah. And as always, if you like what I do here, then like, comment, share, subscribe. And if you want to support me on Patreon, get exclusives, behind the scenes, etc., there's details on the screen. So how does this build actually work? Well, firstly, Update 41, just a quick disclaimer, if you're on console, you have to wait a couple of weeks. For our race, we're a Khajiit. Khajiit gives you the most damage because we crit because of the combos. Dark Elf is very, very similar. Dark Elf is more consistent. If you don't crit, Khajiit you crit, so that's the difference basically. Me personally, Khajiit is better because of the feline ambush passive. You can get closer to people while sneaking without you needing cloak. This is a game changer. So personally, Khajiit if you're going to pick a race. If you are not a Khajiit though, but you're a Dark Elf, just stick with Dark Elf, this will work. For our attributes, 32 in health, 32 in stamina. Our stamina scaling doesn't really give us much damage, so it's pointless us stacking the stamina, just have some more health, so if you do mess up, you've got health you can survive basically. For the Mundus, I'm using the Steed. Now, I could use the Lover for slightly more damage, but when I was testing this against a friend of mine, 31,000 health, 33,000 armor, full win pen, and CP, so they're ironclad on as well, I could kill them in the same amount of skills with the Lover or the Steed. So actually, the time to kill was the same. I prefer the speed because of this, and the Steed gives you that, because I can get closer to them and move around a lot easier, so this is the better option, in my opinion. We are a Vampire Stage 3. Being a Vampire Stage 3 will give you access to the Undeath passive. The Undeath passive down here is just a defensive set as a passive. You get bonus damage for being out of sneak and stuff, from strike from the shadows, and you can move around without being slowed in sneak. So Vampire is a must in my opinion. As for our consumables, we're using Jewels Mistral or Smoked Bear Haunch, basically max health and regen, you can pick which one. You could change this for more damage and go for high stam food, but you'd have less health, you'd have less sustain, and I think this is the best kind of all-rounder in my opinion. Jewels of Mistral is the kind of the good enough option compared to Smoked Bear Haunch. And we use tri-stat potions because they cover all bases. Health, you need it. If you're low on stamina, you need stamina, you're going to die. If you're out of magical, you can't cloak, you're going to die. So this just does all three. I would suggest that carry some detect potions with you against other Nightblades, it can help, and some immovability if you're in Cyrodiil or Icy and there's lots of snares. Now for the skills. For the skills, we're doing something really, really unusual. We're using Wrecking Blow as our kind of opener into Concealed Weapon. We then finish them off with Killer's Blade. The combo is normally Wrecking Blow, Concealed Weapon, Roll Dodge, Killer's Blade. That will one-shot anybody with 30k health in 1.5 to 2 seconds. Because this is charging. As this lands, this then lands with it, because it's instant cast. So within the first 0 second as such, you've got 2 hits on them instantly. Light attack, this again, that's now second 1, and then light attack, Killer's Blade, you can come to second 2 or they're dead anyway. So that's how this works. Killer's Blade is an execute, it's like Executioner, but it heals you, does the same thing, really good damage, yeah. We then have Shadowy Disguise, guaranteed crit chance, it's just really OP. And then Rally gives you weapon damage, gives us a burst heal if we need, and it gives us regen. We use Incap if we want more damage, so this is really nice. And you can use this in the combo, but honestly, it's It doesn't do that much more damage than the Wreck and Blow, Light Attack, Concealed, Light Attack, Concealed. And the reason we use Wreck and Blow is because it gives us Major Berserk for 3 seconds, so we get 10% more damage on all the follow-up skills. And this gets another 10% because we come out of stealth. So this has a 20% damage boost. It's huge. For the back bar, Siphoning Strikes, which I'll talk about in a minute, Race Against Time, Health Offering, Resolve and Vigour, and Relentless Focus. Relentless Focus is here not because it's here to be fired, it's here as a damage boost, so, which sounds a bit odd. Basically, the 80 weapon and spell damage can stack 5 times for 400. This doesn't refresh, it doesn't drop off. It's really weird. So I'll show you what I mean. Unbuffed, on the front bar, we have 4,100 weapon and spell damage. I'm just going to, I don't even need to cast a skill. I'm going to find something just to attack by itself. So we'll just attack this. And we'll just do this until it's now ready, okay? So we're just going to cloak and just move away. Okay. And we can reset our resources with Siphoning Strikes and just go for a quick burst deal. And then back into cloak. You can use your Vigor. It's just... I'll talk about Siphoning Strikes in a moment. But our damage has gone up to 4,000 already, so it's already gone up because of that buff. And then you chuck on Rally, it goes up higher, and then it kind of bugs out, but it's still showing there. So behind the scenes, it's still on. So it's like 5,300 we have roughly, which is really good. So that's why we run this on the back bar. The ultimate, you can run whatever you like. Soul Shred, use Soul Tether, it's a great option. If you really want and you are worried about making a mistake, you could go with Precognition. So if you get CC'd, you can just cast this and it will reset, because you're not really using the ult to kill people with this setup. One thing I do want to talk about with the skills is that Siphoning Strikes is really OP. If you've seen the sniper video I've just made, basically this is infinite sustain. When you cast this, you drain your health, you get resources back. So if I just drain all my resources, so I'm just going to get rid of all my stam. So you can see just by doing this, how quick that stam goes back up. That was really fast. No potion either, that's just doing that skill. What makes this really good is that if I'm low health and I cast Vigour, the Vigour healing actually will offset this. So then I can cast this a couple of times whilst the Vigour procs. Or I can do a big burst deal, Vigour, burst deal, and then just repeat Siphon a couple of times. So again, I'm resetting my resources really fast with this combo. You can also use it where if you cloak, and then siphoning, cloak, siphoning, cloak, siphoning, you have infinite magicka, so you never run out of magicka, so you can cloak forever doing that. You can chuck in some heals in between or a potion. It's a really good skill basically. So that's kind of how the skills work. For the CP, just really quick, Fighting Finesse, basic crit damage, Master at Arms, more damage, Deadly Aim, more damage, and Wrathful Strikes, more damage. You could use Backstabber instead of Wrathful Strikes, but you have to be behind them at all times, which can be a bit awkward. So I would personally suggest that you just use Wrathful Strikes. For the red ones, I would suggest that you have Bastion, because you do more damage to shields and sulks and stuff, which is great. Survival Instincts for just cheaper roll dodge and so on. Pain's Refuge for defense, and Sustained by Suffering for just more, just sustain really. If you do want though, you could drop Bastion if you don't attack shielded targets and go for Celerity. That will give you more movement speed. And for the green ones, Seed's Blessing and Sustain the Shadows. Movement speed and cost reduction. One thing to note is if you are in CP Cyrodiil and you have that CP on, or CP IC, you technically have enough speed to drop the steed, but when you're in combat, you don't hit the cap. So I keep this on because you hit the cap at all times, in and out of combat, pretty much. And this is why we have this. But if you want a bit more damage, you can change this to the warrior or the lover. The time to kill is very similar, so I wouldn't do it personally, but just a quick kind of TLDR. The last thing then is the sets. And if you like what I do here, then obviously do like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I'd really like to know, do you prefer me showing you the build and stuff early on, and then kind of gameplay coming up, If so, let me know in the comments below and I'll do that going forward. For the sets, we are using the Scions of Ithelia, I think it's pronounced. Basically, you shoot a big fiery moth that does loads of damage. The moth hits really hard. Your major berserk can buff this, so this gets up even higher. It's 7k, it's about 10k fully buffed with everything on. And this procs on the combo. The back bar, you can use anything you want. Ice Staff will probably be better because you get some block mitigation with Magicka, block reduction, or both if you want roll dodge movement speed. So it's your choice, bow or Ice Staff, any set of your choice. Krog, just penetration, and we're going to use the Tarnished Nightmare. This is another new set that comes with update 41. When you deal critical damage, glass shards burst in 8 meters, doing 5.3k. What's nice with this setup is that this procs instantly, and the moth then procs, but because it's a delay, it can proc at the same time. So the shards will fire, the moth will summon, and then after a second the moth blows up. So you hit them from behind, they get stunned. Because they're stunned, the moth is next to them, they CC break, the moth is an AoE so they can't dodge it. So that's why this works really, really well as a combo, and I'll show you in a minute. And we then round it off with Wild Hunt at the bottom. To load it out, you want one Krog on the head, and then essentially just get the other pieces wherever you like. All Divines for max damage or max speed, and infused weapon damage, obviously, down here. But that's kind of the stuff. If you want to eke damage a bit more and you have a high health meta, change this to an Oblivion Glyph, you get slightly more damage, or a Shock Glyph's a good option for vulnerability if it does proc, but you know the damage is high enough as it is anyway. So that's kind of how this works. What I want to do now for the next couple minutes, or probably a minute or so, is just show you how to do the combo, because this works against players. What's really nice about this is you move at max speed, so you only cast Race Against Time as you need it when you're about to go into somebody. You will see these are guards and these are buffed, so you know IC guards can be a bit of a nightmare, yeah? We're going to go to them and show you how much damage we can do to the guards, okay? So I'm just going to go up, sneak in, cloak, cloak, Wrecking Blow into light attack. He's dead, he's dead, he's dead. That's the whole flag completely destroyed. And then what you can do, you can then use your Siphoning Strikes, get your resources back, and you're good to go again. This gargoyle thing has 100k health, so when you go to it, cloak, Wrecking Blow, light attack, concealed, it's dead. And you're back in cloak. Wrecking Blow, light attack, concealed, dead. And you can literally just repeat doing this. So again, 100k, put on my buff, cloak, Wrecking Blow, light attack, concealed, and execute. So the damage is really, really high. The speed is really quick, and you need the speed in all honesty, because if people are on horses and they're not leveled up, you can keep up with them generally. If they're on foot and they're sprinting, you can keep up with them on sprint. So I'm going to just do it once more and just show you that you can also spin round and do this. So let me find something a bit more awkward to hit. And the idea is I'm just using my movement buff to get around. You can also cloak through the enemies quite nicely like this. So this thing here, yeah? So one of the other changes with Wrecking Blow, let me just reset my Magicka, look at that. There you go, Magicka's ready to go again. Rally on, speed buff, is you can cast it from quite far away and move around the target. So I'm going to go from the front this time, okay? To show you that I can cast it and walk through them. Because you know, that is quite a big change from before. So cloak, Wrecking Blow, and that's group dead. So before, Wrecking Blow never used to track like that. It now tracks like Dizzying Swing, which is why this works, and you get the extra damage. If for some reason you're against a player who doesn't stun because of like Mage's Guild, what you can do, if you do your Wrecking Blow, and then if you medium weave like this, that will set them off balance and stun them, because Wrecking Blow sets people off balance. Sorry, if you change it to Dizzying Swing, it will set them off balance, or Concealed Weapon will set them off balance. So you can essentially go Wrecking Blow, light attack, concealed, medium weave, and then concealed again, and that will stun them. So that's how you stun people who are a bit more awkward to stun, because it can be a bit buggy from stealth. But that's how this build works. Stupidly fast, hits really, really hard, and it's just a lot of fun. It's going to get nerfed, 100%. The only thing I would say, just as a quick heads up, is the moth, it's really, really slow. So if they are moving really fast, get ahead of them, because it moves ridiculously slow, and it might miss. And when I say miss, it gives them enough time to heal. When I was testing this with a friend of mine, she was sprinting around, jumping, all sorts of crazy movement, and we could still land this one and still kill her in 2 seconds. So it hits hard, it is quite very consistent, but it can be awkward every now and again. I'm going to call this one here, though, as I said, it's been long enough. It's a very different way of playing the game. If you like this type of build and you like this style of video where I go through the build, the gear at day 1 or week 1 of the patch, and then post gameplay going forward, let me know in the comments, because I'll do that going forward. And if you haven't done so, do make sure you like, you comment, you share, and you subscribe. It really helps out the channel. And as always, I want to say a massive thanks to everybody at Patreon who helps make these videos possible. If you want to support myself on Patreon, there are details down below. You get early access, exclusive content, build breakdowns, all this sort of stuff. And it also just helps me to continue making content, so it really, really helps out. But I'm going to call it here. So I'm going to say a massive thanks for watching. I'll catch you next video. Take care, and bye!